welcome to 10X Podcast, a division of Fresh Agent Marketing. And I'm super excited to have my dear friend and real estate extraordinaire, Art Kelly, who is the author, the one and only, if you can't see this, it's the 7 spheres of a FriendMaker, how to build a business on friendships. So, without further ado, Art Kelly, how you doing, sir?
Hey man, what's going on, Scott?
Not much, buddy. Hey, man, pleasure knowing you, and it's always been an honor to have you on the show. And you have a special challenge that you started that I would encourage people to join and attend. I want
Yeah.
to talk about that. So, let's talk about what you wanted to talk about first and foremost, and then go from there. Tell us a little bit
Okay.
about yourself, man.
Awesome. Well, for those of you that haven't followed, I know we had a conversation a few months back, Scott, and so, but basically my story is that I live in the Nashville area. I live in a little town called Murfreesboro, Tennessee, just southeast of Nashville. I've been here for about 25 years, and I started my journey working in some nonprofit organizations, which I learned early on that I was an entrepreneur. And when I found that I was an entrepreneur, what I found as an entrepreneur is not always been a great employee, a bit of a pioneering spirit, wired for new and, progress and moving forward and that kind of stuff. And so oftentimes that doesn't jive really well with the powers that be in the places that I was at. And so, but it took some learning from just being a young guy to now, after about 25 years of, working and being a jack of all trades, master of none, being a father or married for 20, going on 28 years now. Um, you
Good
know,
for you,
uh,
bud.
I had to just kind of learn, how to do business. I didn't know. I started my real estate business when I was 40. I'm 49 now, and I did not know what I was getting into. I think I thought that I would love to sell a lot of homes. I had no idea that I was getting into the lead generation business. That was something that was new to me, and the name of the game for the last 8 or 9 years has been learning how to generate my own business. and
Mm,
and so and it's been interesting because I'm experiencing within real estate now. The first major shift in the last 10 years has happened over the last 2 years, ever
yeah.
since COVID kind of came and went, and that boom we all had from 2020 to 2022. 23 and 24 have been like pushing a rock uphill, for most of us that I know of. There are some folks that are just really knocking it down and have really already built a solid network of referral business prior to that. And so I see a lot of folks that are doing still super well. I'm doing great. I mean, life is good. Business has been good. I got several listings and some clients that I'm working with right now. A little bit of money in the bank and just trying to keep pushing forward and that kind of stuff. In the process over the last couple of years of just kind of learning how to develop my own lead generation system, I discovered, and I say discovered because it really was a discovery for me, how to generate leads by just simply making friends. And
Mm,
so at the time, about 2020 was when I started writing the book. It took me about 2 years to get it finished. I published it at the beginning of 23. And the idea of the 7 spheres of a friend maker was simply that when we really boil it all down to one simple concept, it is that we just make friends for a living. And if you make lots of friends and you go deep with those friends, then lead problems become less of lead problems, and it really becomes more of just a friend problem. So the question isn't, I don't have enough leads. The real question is, do you have enough friends? And have you gone deep with the ones that
mm,
you do know? And so over the last couple of years, I've been taking that on the road and doing some teaching and doing some podcasts and speaking at different events. I turned it into a 2-hour CE course that I train agents here in Tennessee and go around the state and teach. Eventually, though, I kind of got to a point where I was trying to, this summer, I was struggling. Honestly, I was struggling in business. I had a really slow spring.
mm.
Spring didn't spring this year. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but spring did not spring around here. The sun
I
came
love it.
out, flowers and the bees came out, but the buyers and the sellers, for whatever reason, didn't.
Didn't make it.
And so Anyway, I ended up just going, okay, well, I got to pivot a little bit. Let me just get some speaking engagements. So I started trying to just call a bunch of different folks, try to get some speaking engagements. And I ran across a lady. She lives down there in Palm Beach. Where are you guys at?
Oh yeah, yeah, just north of me. Yeah, I'm actually
Okay.
north. I'm yeah, in Daytona
So,
Beach, so Palm Beach South. Yeah.
so Janice White works
Okay.
for CMG Financial, and
Okay.
she's great. She's wonderful. I've just really enjoyed getting to know her. The last few months, we were talking about me coming down. I believe I'm coming down maybe in January. We're still working out the details
Let
of
me
the,
know, man. Let me know.
yeah, I will let you know.
I'll
And
drop
so
down. Yeah.
some of that kind of stuff. But she part of my speaking. One of the things that I was telling people about was this idea of doing like a 21-day challenge, and I gave people a bunch of ways to generate some relational leads. And but I put it into a challenge where you do 5 critical tasks every day. You do four um, four goals, 4 essential goals every week, and then you do uh, 5 monthly objectives, compelling objectives during that 21-day period. And I was just telling her about it, and she's like, "Oh, we'd like to do that." So they started doing it, and she had me come in and start doing some Zooms, and then like a light bulb went on in my head, and I'm like, I'm trying to help people understand how the FriendMaker concept goes, and I'm also trying to build my own real estate business at the same time. It's kind of
Right.
like that whole old Chinese adverb of, or a proverb of adverb. That's funny. A proverb of you try to chase 2 rabbits, you'll never catch either one. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what I felt like I was trying to help this coaching thing along and trying to grow my real estate business. I wasn't making any traction. And then
Hmm.
I realized, wait a second, what if I just do this 21-day challenge myself and invite people into it with me, and then just kind of start encouraging people along? Because I need the encouragement, right? I'm just
Okay.
giving everybody else what I need for myself. And
Yeah.
and so I created this whole thing, and it literally is, you got these 5, 4, and 5. That's what I call it. And you just do the five tasks, the 4 goals, the 5 objectives over this time. And what
Okay.
I've found is that the people that have joined me in this, we're in the middle of our second round of it right now. But the people that have joined me in this have found themselves connecting, reconnecting, nurturing, getting back into contact with people that they haven't talked to in a long time. And some of them are
Wow.
finding business inside of those relationships, which is the goal. And
Yeah.
what I have found though also is that it's not like you're going to go out in 21 days and you're going to get brand new business out of this, but it is building a foundation for the next 6 months. So if
There
you
you go.
start now doing this 21-day challenge, I'm doing a 21-day challenge every other 21 days. So we do 21
Okay.
on,
Okay.
21 days off. That way you're just doing it. Here's the thing. I found myself in this place where I would listen to the coaches and hear all the stuff that you're supposed to be doing every day, but it just felt like I was perpetually supposed to be doing this stuff all the time. And what I found myself getting into this space of was just guilt and shame and, oh my gosh, I'm never like, I can't. I'm getting burnt out. I can't do this every single day. So then I was like, well, wait a second. There's this whole thing about like 21 days to form a habit, which is actually not true. It's actually 21 days to get rid of old habits, to start
Okay. Okay.
to form a new habit.
Okay.
James Clear says it takes about 64 days to actually
Okay.
develop a habit, but you got to start with the 21 days of just shedding all the bad habits. And so
Mm.
this is kind of a start for a lot of people of just going, wait a second, it's time to reset and just kind of get back to what is it that I know that has gotten me business in the past. Okay, do these tasks, hit these goals, do these objectives. I'm going to get there. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
Love it, man. Love it. So going back a little bit to the book, and the Friend Maker and the 21 challenge, we can talk about it all.
Yeah.
What is it like? You said you had a slow spring, but man, you've had a good 14 month. I mean, you've had a like, and yeah, like the last time you were on, you talked about how, and I think this is so important, it gives me chills. I don't know why, but you talked about going 5 miles deep with 100
Mm.
instead of 5 miles wide and an inch deep. And I
Yeah.
remember I say it, I literally say it, if not once a day, once every other day to somebody. I'm like,
Yeah.
here's what I learned from Art Kelly when he was on. And I'm like, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like we all have been in this place of we need 5,000 Facebook friends, we need 30,000 LinkedIn connections, we do all this stuff, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, go deep with like. So when you said you started going deep with 100, can you talk about that a little bit? Because I think this,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are new, a lot of people don't have a huge database, they have 100, Almost
Yeah,
everybody has 100, 75, 100, 200, 300. Some have 10,000, but
sure.
it's physically impossible. Can you talk a little bit about that 100? Because I think the 21-day challenge is getting back to that, what you've mastered in a huge way allowed you to close a bunch of deals over the last 12 months.
Yeah. So, that's exactly right. The truth is that what I'm trying to help people understand is that you don't have to have thousands of people in your database in order to be able to do this. If you have 100 of the right people,
Mm,
then that's all you need. Here's the thing. It's a vetting process, right? So like
hmm,
the work comes in going deep with people. So that means you can't just make one phone call with one person and expect that's not a relationship at that point. That's just an acquaintance at that point. Maybe
if
a friend,
that.
as Aristotle says, a friendship of utility, right? Like they're a person you're just using them because of what they provide. And listen, that's where it starts. I mean, I think it's a good place to start with people is the friendship of utility, but it's got to move beyond that into more of a, hey, I enjoy this person. And then finally, friendships of the good is what I share this in my book, but Aristotle talks about friendships of the good. I would add another level, which is the best friends, right? People
Mhm.
that you're going to do vacation with. And you're probably not going to do vacation with your clients, more than likely,
Yeah.
but you also want to be beyond just a place of utility. You don't want your clients to only be in the zone of friend where you're just the useful friend. Um,
Okay.
because if you are, then the only time they'll ever call you is whenever they need to buy or sell a home. Or then, you don't want that. You want people to be a little bit more than that. Like I just had my plumber just called me up. My plumber knows a bunch of realtors. I mean, he gets referred by realtors all the time. He called me a couple of months. Actually, I called him a couple of months ago when I didn't want to call anybody. I even called him and I told him, I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm so burnt out from calling people. And he goes, well, it's a funny thing you called. He's actually, my wife and I were talking about you last night, and we're thinking about making a move. Within a week, we'd already had their house on the market.
Wow.
2 months later, we did both a purchase and a sale, and $1 million worth of business. And it just
Holy
came down
smokes.
to the fact that over the last 3 or 4 years, anytime I've ever had a plumbing issue, first of all, he's my plumber. Second of
Yeah.
all, I would have conversations just like that with him where I would just call him, not to call him, talk about real estate, just to call him and just say, hey, what's going on,
Say
man? Hey,
hi.
I'm frustrated right now. I don't want to call you. I hate real estate in the world right now. And it's just a listening ear. And I was the same thing for him. And so like what I found is when you're a little bit more than just a friendship of utility with people, that's what constitutes going deeper. And if you can do that with about 100, 200 people, I don't think it,
Consistently, yeah.
yeah, if you can do that consistently, and that's why this is a system. It's systematic.
Yeah.
Um, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are afraid of systematic stuff, especially in sales, because we don't want to sound pitchy. We don't want to sound
Yeah.
salesy. We don't want to
Yeah.
sound that guy who's always asking for business. But if we don't have a system that gets us in front of the same people at least once a quarter, maybe
Yeah.
even once a month in some way, even if it's just a light tap through like a newsletter or an email, if we
Yeah.
don't have some kind of a consistent, systematic, intentional way of doing our business, then
Yeah.
we're not going to be able to see our business last for the long haul.
One thing you taught me, Art, is was very valuable is like you instead of go into it from a sales perspective, you go into it from zero expectation of anything in return.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was like and like once I you told me that like the very first time I talked to you and like Kelly Taylor. It's kind of funny that
Mhm.
it's that she introduced us together. And the first conversation we had over the phone, I'm like, man, this guy is so much like he just gets it at a really high level. Because once you let go of the anything in return, like I don't want to do a mortgage for you. I don't want to list your home. I don't want to work with you to buy a home. I just want to. Hey, how can I put you in a better spot? Worst case scenario, just by like having a conversation, right?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so, well, if you remove that, that removes, I think, that fear or whatever it is you call that. I didn't want. I don't want to call you to talk business. I just want to call my plumber, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The call
So
reluctant,
call
right? That's,
reluctance. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we talk a
So
lot about that.
yeah, yep. So one of the things in your book that I think we miss out on is, and it's funny that I just I was telling people before we started this call that every time I talk to you, I grab your book and I open it up and I go, all right, what's on this page? And like I could literally just every page has something on it. And one of the pages I opened was notes. And
Mhm.
so when you talk to somebody, you listen at a higher level, I think, and you take notes of what they're saying, where they're
Yeah.
going on vacation, where their family is, what's going on, what ages, what birthdays, what's happening in their lives, so that you
Yeah.
can call next time and relate to that.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I mean, I don't have like a photographic memory, so I have to write things down.
Right.
So when
Right
I'm
out.
meeting somebody for the first time, yeah, I'm grabbing out my iPad or I'm grabbing out a book or something, some kind of notebook, and I'm just writing down. I'm asking a bunch of questions and I'm just writing down the answers and just trying to get information from people. It's an information gathering process, and so yeah,
Awesome. So you I know last time you talked about an app that you're working on, that you're still working on.
I am. I've been working on it.
Yeah.
It's slow going. My goal with the app is to be able to have some kind of a regular way for you, like a database, like a CRM. So it's kind of been on the back burner though, as I've been rolling
Okay.
out one day chat. Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of one of those things where I'm learning the steps that I need to
Yeah,
be
it's a
taking in my
lot.
own business as I go through
Yeah.
it. And so
Yeah.
right now, that's a step ahead of where I probably need to be at this point. But I like the idea. At some point, you could have a FriendMaker app where you could actually go on your phone. It could tell you who to call, who to send a note to, who to visit today,
Oh
and
wow. Okay. Okay.
remind you, every month or so, hey, you haven't called this person or you haven't sent this stuff out. So I want to have something that actually has the 21-day FriendMaker challenge in it. I do have um, what do you call? I've got a
Handout.
yeah, it's
I think you said
there's
a handout.
Yep, if you go on my Facebook group, you can see on there's several different links to, but it's a bit jumbled because it's a Facebook group. But if you
Okay.
go to the 21 Day Friend Maker Challenge Facebook group, you can become
Okay.
a member of that. And then there's links within there where you can actually join the actual challenge. When you join the challenge, I send out emails of information and reminders every day of the challenge. Hey, here's some informational, motivational stuff. I do a little live video every morning, um, when I'm
That's
out on
cool, man.
and just try to encourage folks. Like we're on day 8 today, and so we talked about talking versus just doing. Like being in the locker room or you're on the field.
Oh,
In the locker room, and it's great to listen to the coach telling you what to do. But in the end, you can't stay in the locker room. You got to get on the field. You got to pick up the football, and you got to get it down the line.
yeah.
And so that's kind of I just keep encouraging folks throughout the challenge, things like that every day to help them, to do. But there's links and stuff where you can go in. I actually created it's like a 75-page downloadable full color
Wow.
maker challenge thing where it has 2 full pages of daily activities that you can do. And so I can send you that link. You can put it on.
That'd be awesome. Put it with a video, yeah, with the recording. So, so somebody just starting out, and I did post the page in the chat here. Just so are somebody that's new in the business, like, so here's what I'm hearing a lot of. I'm talking to a lot of agents. Over the
Okay.
last 20 years, it's been amazing, right?
Yep.
Amazing. Like businesses come out of the woodwork. Like we didn't really have to have systems in place. We didn't really have to have detailed time management, anything like that.
Yep.
Now we do. The last, like you said, last year was brutal. It's continuing into this year.
Yep.
What do you think would be like for somebody that has had massive success? And I've talked to a ton of agents that are like not dying, but they're not where they used to be because they didn't have these systems, they didn't have these habits, they didn't have this 21-day thing going. Where would
Yeah.
you think the place to start is? Like, where's the place if you had to, knowing what you know now, you start all
Yeah.
over? What should I put in place first?
Well, the very first thing, and they told me this when I got in the business, and I didn't do it. And that's your database, right? It's your list, your friends
Yeah.
list, your friends. That's your that is, there's an old book by a guy named Gordon Conwell called Acres of Diamonds.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Idea is that, you are standing on acres of diamonds in the existing relationships that you already have. I would start
Mm.
I'd start with, which you can't see it. Yeah, I'd start on my phone. I'd start my contact list. Alex Hermosi. Some of y'all may have heard of Alex Hermosi, but he's a kind of a big marketing sales guy. He's got some pretty cool stuff. He basically says, listen, you got all the names you need, names, addresses, phone numbers in your phone. You got email. Look at your email client, Gmail. You've already got a bunch of names and contacts there. and your social media channels, all of your Facebook, Instagram. There are people that you're friends with on all that stuff. All you have to do is just start compiling a list. Start with 100 names, but make it your goal to have 300 to 500 names of people, and then start whittling it down and qualifying all those people. Who's going to send you referrals? Of all those people, if you called them today and you asked them, hey, if you know of anybody's thinking about making a move, would you send them my way? Which of those people would say, absolutely, I would do that? That's your first 100 people right there. So
Gotcha.
through
So
that
just
list,
flat out ask them. Just flat out ask them. Hey,
just
would you send me?
flat out
Hey,
ask them. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
But I mean, I
So
would
easy.
say, for those that are already, if you've had a measure of success in this business, again, your acres of diamonds are in your past clients and your strategic business partners.
Yeah.
Problem is that most people are not going back. They're not staying in touch with those people. They're not keeping tabs on those people. They don't have a database of all those people's contact information. So a lot of you need to sit down on the phone and start calling people and apologizing. I sold you a house 10 years ago and I never called you back. I just want you to know, I really do genuinely want to make a connection with you and I want to be here in your life. If there's anything you guys need, please let me know. I'd love to bring you some value. And you bring value to people not by being a realtor, you bring value by being a connector
Mm,
and by being the person who knows a guy or knows a girl who knows somebody who can connect them with the right people. Um, Something I shared with you, I think the last time we came on, is something I'm not stole it. I got it. This all great ideas are stolen, right?
all
Harvey
right.
Kay, a network marketing guy back in the 70s and 80s, wrote a book called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And I use
Yes.
the
Talk
phrase
about
all the
that.
time.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you think about your needs in your life, you need tangible needs. You need money. You need a job. You need referrals. You need business. That's tangible stuff. But then there's intangible stuff, right? There's love. There's belonging, acceptance. There's community. Okay, there's a yellow jacket. I'm sitting on my back porch right
That's not
now.
good.
But you've got these needs that you have in your life, and the way that these needs are met for you and me in life, it's through people. Like every one of those needs that I just shared with you, the only way you get those needs met is through community, is through people.
Mm,
So if the idea of dig your well before you're thirsty is that you're gonna be thirsty someday. It may not be today. You may be fine today. You may have plenty of money in the bank,
mm,
plenty of business coming to you, and that's great. That's not always going to be the truth. The truth is at some point you're going to hit a valley and you're going to need to pull something from that well. And to the extent that you dig a well of relationships and you nurture that well with strong relationships and you have a large well with a lot of relationships, is the extent to which you'll be able to draw from when you're thirsty. If you don't have a
mm.
big well and you don't have strong relationships and you haven't nurtured people, then when you fall on your face because you were a rabbit instead of a turtle, right? The tortoise and the hare story. Too many
Yeah.
people are hares and not tortoises. And that's what happened. I mean, 2021, 22 was the year of the rabbit in real estate.
Yes. Yes.
People
It's
were able
crazy.
to go out and just burst out, sprint out, make a bunch of money, make a bunch of business. And a lot of them are struggling right now because
Mm-hmm.
they did not know during that time how to develop strong, lasting, deep relationships with people that they'd served. And a
Mm.
lot of those people that bought and sold homes 5 years ago, guess who they're using for their realtor? It ain't the person that sold them a house because they didn't stay in contact with them. And so
Right on.
now is the time for the tortoise to win. I think we're about to move into a season over the next couple of years where the tortoises who've taken their time and really carefully cared for and nurtured
Nourished,
a community of
deepened.
people,
Yeah.
they're gonna get the business because we're not going to be in a market where you have 2.5% interest rates ever again, more than likely. So if
No.
that's the case, then you better figure out a new way to do business, and it better be a lasting way, not just a quick, easy, buck. And so that's why I teach people,
Interesting.
you know.
Yeah, so many so many great points are like it's just unbelievable. So if anybody has any questions whatsoever or comments or anything, feel free to just pitch in to share with Art. So Art, on the different channels, like you said, you mentioned email, social media, phone, like some way, shape, or form, touch the people, dig the well first. I think that's where a lot of people failed, that were super uber successful. Now they didn't dig that well. They're trying to pull from it, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Is there a social media site that you prefer? Because man, I follow everything you do because I think it's amazing. So like when you post
Yeah.
stuff, you talked about knowing the dogs' names and the kids' names and their birthdays and all that stuff. Is there one social media site that you would pick that you is your go-to that yields those results as well, or doesn't it matter? Just pick one and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think pick one and go for it is a good thing. I mean, honestly, I'm finding plenty of success on Facebook. I don't spend money on social media. I don't pay for ads or any of that kind of stuff. There are some methods that I've learned through Epic and some of the guys that have been taught me, the real estate agent that I'm working underneath, and about how to just get on Facebook groups and just start getting permission, but sharing listings from other agents as long as you have
Mm,
permission.
hmm.
And just using those as kind of like little bobbers in the water, so to speak, through Facebook groups, and just sharing them. And you'll see that people will message you through that social media means. But as far as like Facebook, just as far as getting the word out about who I am, what I'm doing, a lot of the people in my world see me through Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those are my three kind of top places that I spend a lot of time. I'm trying to jump into the YouTube space a little bit more with the FriendMaker challenge. I know that like there's a lot of guys like Levi Lassick who did some really big stuff with YouTube, has been very, very successful with it. And so I'm always open to learning new things. One of the things I'm trying to figure out at this point in my business, I'm 9 years into the business now, and I'm happy. I mean, business has been good, but like I'm trying to figure out how to be less independent and more dependent on like team and community of other agents to help me, because at the end of the day, we're business owners, and like the more I do my own business, the more I realize how much I cannot do on my own. And
Right.
and
Right.
so I have to be willing to let go. And the excuses that I've made are the excuses that a lot of people have made, like I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or nobody can do it like I can do it, and I don't
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
people. And the truth is that if that's my mentality for the next 10 years, I'm going to be really burnt out by the time we get to
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta start learning how to put systems and entrusting my business to people that I can pay to do so I can expand. And so I'm just in the process of learning how to do a lot of that stuff still.
And just before I forget, I know this is off topic, but I got a great TC for you. So if you need a TC,
Okay.
I don't like, so I had to throw it out there. If you're an agent that needs a TC, if you're doing paperwork and you're doing sales agreements and listings and like you stop, like stop, please
Into that.
stop,
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, could you, Elizabeth McKinley, thanks for being here. So she says, what is the 545 again? Can you kind of talk about that a little slower?
Yeah, let me go through that real quick. I've got
Okay.
this. Let me
Okay.
see. I was gonna see if I have it. I can just tell them to you, but I've got a little graphic that I can probably send to you as well.
Okay.
I don't know if I send this to you, Scott, if you can just
Yeah. Yeah.
put it up.
You could share, or if you want to share your screen or if you want to send it to me, whichever.
It's just I just sent you an image.
Okay.
It actually just gives you the actual 545 on it. So you got
Okay.
five
Okay.
critical
Got it.
early tasks. Can you see that?
Yep. I got it here. I'll show it here in 2 seconds here. One sec. All right. You guys can see it?
Awesome. Yeah, perfect. This is great. So you got five. So every day, so there's you got 21 days, right? So that's 7 days a week. That's 21 days. I built into this program a day of rest. So like on Sunday or whatever, you can do it. It's supposed to start on a Tuesday. Right now, we
Hmm.
started this past Tuesday, so we're on day 8 right now. But basically, every day, this is what you do. And I was inspired by 75 Hard. I don't know if you ever heard of Andy Frisella and that
I
program.
saw you do that. Yep.
I did that 2 times. I actually finally did it the second time, and I got the little coin that says 75 Hard all the way through.
That's
And
awesome.
but that was very much inspired by that, because I was like, what could we do for real estate agents and for business people in general that could help them to really build a foundation of their business in a relational manner? And so everything that's in this list is stuff that I have been doing for the last 9 years that's helped me get the business that I currently have. So there's nothing that's in this list that's not automatically already in that. But I went ahead and compiled it into okay, here's a 21-day challenge of how to do all these activities. So every day for the first 6 days, and then you take a day of rest. So technically, it's really 18 days of work, actually, if you really, look at it that way. 5 critical tasks. So without fail, every single day, I'm going to make 10 phone calls. And my goal is to have 3 great conversations. So
Love
a
it.
great
30%.
conversation
Easy.
is like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? That's a great conversation. Doesn't have to be even a real estate conversation. You're just connecting with somebody. Add one person to your database every day and schedule a time to meet with them. Maybe to meet them that day or just meet them. So that may be take a stack of cards of people that you met at a networking group 2 weeks ago and just start calling new people and adding them to your database, right? And then trying to schedule time to meet with them so that you can find out how you can be a service to them. Share one social media post across 3 platforms. So my platforms are Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So
Love it.
just one social media post. Do the 4-H club. Now, the 4-H club is an idea I got from a guy named Sean Carpenter. Basically, every morning before 8 o'clock in the morning, he basically does a bunch of social. It's like a social media blitz. I think I actually changed the name to this on my workbook is to just a social media blitz. But basically, what you're doing is you're doing like 5 Instagram likes and comments, 5 Facebook comments and likes, 5 LinkedIn comments and likes. You're doing 5 happy birthdays. You're sending 5 video texts to people. The idea is that you're just connecting with people in a quick digital manner, like a little tiny digital tap on the shoulder. And you're doing it all before 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And then you reward yourself with a cup of coffee when it's all done. Right. So by the time you're
Oh,
that
you
one
can't have the
activity,
coffee before you're done?
you can't have coffee before you're done, right? Or, I don't know, it's whatever. But the goal here is to get it done before, listen, all of this stuff can be done before 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
It can be. 10 pages of a nonfiction might mean you have to get up a little bit earlier, right? But read 10 pages of a nonfiction personal growth book, nab that one right out of the 75 hard playbook because it's such a good thing to have your mind in the right spot. Anyway, so those are your 5 critical daily tasks. Every day, without fail, for 21 days, you're doing that.
Love
Every
it.
week, you have 4 essential weekly goals. So you're going to meet 2 professionals within your industry. If you're a real estate agent, that might be a mortgage person or a title person or a home inspector or a contractor. Somebody new every week. You're going to be meeting 2 people, 2 new people every week within your industry. You're going to attend one business networking group.
Hmm.
So BNI or whatever free chamber, whatever, I don't care. Attend one chamber ribbon cutting. These are interchangeable, guys. Don't, these are
Right.
guidelines.
Right.
Remember Pirates of the Caribbean, the code. It's more like guidelines. like,
Right.
and then finally you're going to eat lunch with one strategic business partner. Now that one partner can be one of those 2 professionals you just met, it doesn't matter, but the goal is every week you're going to do those activities. And then finally, during that 21-day period, over that 21-day period time, you're going to create a business referral directory. So you're going to get
Mm,
all the people that are your
mm,
business partners. You're going to put all their names, phone numbers, addresses, and emails, and you're going to compile them into a list that you can give to your clients on closing day that they can stick on their refrigerator
brilliant.
so that
Brilliant.
they have a list of all your personal business professional friends. So you're looking at plumbers and electricians and roofers and contractors and lawyers and chiropractors and therapists and pastors and whoever else you know in your life. I got a list of about 50 that I give my clients on closing day, and I just give it to them. You can laminate it and they can just stick it on the refrigerator. If they ever have an issue, they can
Brilliant.
those people. And let me tell you, when I send that out in my newsletter, I take a snapshot of that and I send a text to every one of those business partners and say,
Mm,
hey,
mm,
look what I put out in my newsletter this month. So a couple times a year,
mm.
I give that list away to everybody in my newsletter, a couple hundred names. And so
Wow.
I get texts from all of those strategic business partners. Hey, thanks for sharing my business with your people.
Love
Like
it.
that's valuable. I create
Valuable.
a monthly newsletter that you send it through the snail mail. So you're going to have to buy some stamps and you're going to have to lick some envelopes. You're going to have to print out some stuff. Send out an email to your entire database once a month, just a generic, hey guys, just thinking about you. Here's some real estate industry related facts, whatever. Create a Google business. Well, this doesn't say business direct. It should be a Google business page. Uh,
Mm,
and then you're going to ask for 5 reviews on that Google business page. And then
love it.
finally, you plan or you're going to join an already planned client party or a business mixer.
Love
So
it.
you're going to do all that within the 21-day period. So the goal here, again, it's massive activity, right?
Massive. Massive.
Massive
Yeah.
activity in a short period of time. So that way you don't experience burnout. Now you're going to be feeling the heat of it. Probably you might be feeling it from day one, right? But definitely by day 18, 19, 20, you're going to be like, man,
Yeah.
yeah, but you got to just hone in, see the finish line, and run as hard as you can all the way through. And then at the
Yeah.
end of the 21 days, the way I've got it set up right now, what I've been trying to do is I do 21 days on, and then I do 21 days off. And then I do 21 days on, and then I do 21 days off. And the goal here is that it compounds each time. So at the end of 21 days, you've already started to develop some of these activities as habits. You're going to be going, I need to write my notes today. I need to make my phone calls. I need to have these great conversations. During that off 21 days, I'm not expecting you to do every single thing on this list, because you'll get burnt out and there's no
Yeah.
pressure. But the goal is to give yourself a little bit of time to recoup, rethink, retool, and then re-up the next 21 days. And so we'll get back in it right at the beginning of December, right before Christmas. We'll do 21 days right before Christmas. And then we'll take 21 days off, and middle of January we'll start again. So again, that's the goal of this thing, is to just start
Love it, man.
developing a community of people who are doing this on a regular basis. This is about, I've been doing my business for about 10 years almost now, going to my ninth year right now. I've watched a bunch of different coaches. I've heard a lot of different methods and that kind of stuff. I have yet to see anybody who has created a how to build your database program.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
that's what this is. This is, everybody's like, you need to build a database. Nobody has a how to do it. And so
Right.
this is a how to build your database program. If the most simple way, how to make a list of friends and how to build your business on the foundation of your friends. That's what this is about.
And you know what I found, Art? It's funny when you start something new like this, when you start new habits, it's muscle memory. We don't have we're not conditioned. It's kind of like training for the, like the start of the NFL season, the start of baseball season. That's why there's training camps, right?
That's right.
So when you
You're right.
start this, you have no muscle. You're not used to doing the phone calls. You're not used to doing this and that and this and that. But man, I tell
Yep.
you, once you like your brain hurts, your body hurts, like you're sitting in your chair and your body still hurts, right? Like, and so
Yep.
well, the more you do it though, your body gets conditioned, and now it's like,
Yep.
and the best part, you didn't even bring it up, like you're gonna have results. You're gonna have activity, conversations, and referrals
Yeah.
if
That's
you
right.
do this. So you're like, holy crap, that was easy.
Yeah. That's right.
So just know that it's going to be uber painful at first, but man, when you really get down and dirty and you push through it, it's going to get easier. And you're like, man, how did I even not do this before? Um,
Exactly.
couple
Yep.
questions. Let's
I just
see.
put it, just so you know, I did put a link in there for people to
Awesome,
join the challenge, so you can get an email,
awesome, dude.
get
Beautiful.
signed up.
Thanks, Art. Are you doing okay? So, Eve Cotton, are you doing Zoom one-on-one meeting or coffee meetups? Like when you do the meetups or
I do
meetings?
a meetup on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, right before we did this one today. I
Okay.
have a stream that we're doing every
Zoom.
Tuesday
Okay,
at 10.
Zoom. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yep.
So as part of the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
This is
nice.
part of
Okay. Okay. Beautiful.
the way you get
Um,
access to it is you sign up through this challenge link I
got it.
just give.
All right, I'm in.
And then you'll
Coffee
get an
for
email every Monday. So
perfect. So Denise said, yeah, Denise is like coffee first because murder is wrong. All
agreed.
right.
Yes, that's
Are these phone
flexible.
let's see, Elizabeth, are these phone calls with current CRM, like your current CRM, people in your CRM sphere, where you
Yeah.
contacts on your phone?
So the CRM that I currently use, now the company I work with, Epic Realty, has like Lofty. I know
Yep.
LPT has Lofty.
Yep.
That's kind of a big popular one. I personally have been using Brian Buffini's program for the last
Okay.
several, FriendMaker. It's just simple. It's kind of um, a, a CRM for dummies, and I qualify. So
I
it's
like,
just
I love
simple.
it.
I don't need a lot of bells and whistles for
Yep.
my I just need, how do I stay in contact with all these people through these different means, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind
Yeah.
of what.
Very cool. Awesome. Man, that's intense, bud. So any other questions for Art? Art, man, you're amazing. Congratulations on this 21-day challenge. I think it's you already got a bunch of people in this group. So if you haven't joined the group, it's the link is in there. Beautiful stuff there.
Yeah, and
Um,
like if you're interested in some personal one-on-one coaching, just reach out to me. You
absolutely.
can Art Kelly Coach at Gmail. You can just reach out to me, and I'm happy to, we can set something up. If you want to do like start doing some coaching set. I can do some individual stuff. I don't care to do
Okay.
that. I'm getting
Oops,
to
you
a
got it.
place where, you know how it is with everybody. Our time is always very valuable. So I
Yep.
don't want to be that guy that charges $500 every single time somebody sits down with them. But
Yeah.
I do want to be able to provide the quality. That's why I'm trying to do the weekly Zooms, to just give that information for free every Tuesday. And this whole 21-day challenge thing is free. The little workbook that I created is $8 that you can download. There's also just a one-page thing you can get for free. It's just the tracker list of things that I can kind of share that as well if y'all want it.
Awesome. Good stuff, brother. Good stuff.
You know.
All right, man. I'm excited. I signed up, so I'll be participating in that. I make way more calls than that because I've conditioned myself to make way more calls than that. But hey, man, hey, you got to start somewhere, right? So, but
That's
think, I mean, here's the thing. If you think about how many people in that 545 you touch just in a day, 10
oh yeah,
calls, text messages, like all those little things that you do and you consciously are doing it and you're part of a group that's holding you accountable and you commit
yep,
to do it. Um, if you like, here's the way I look at this. Like we're ending 2024. We're
yep,
coming up on 2025. I'm already business planning. I'm already thinking ahead. What do I got to do now? And some of my best months, and I know you told me this last year, some of my best months are November, December, January
yeah,
because
yep,
everybody mentally checks out. Like mentally, like I'm like it's big. Everybody's checking out Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, like all that stuff. That's
yep,
when people take vacations. It's wintertime. Man, that's when I check in because I
yep,
know if I start now, February, March, April, May, June, like now I'm already way 3 months ahead of everybody. So, and I know you do the same thing. I think
yep.
it's a
That's
great start this
exactly
now.
last winter. I had probably my best winter. I sold, I don't know, I think I closed 5 homes in January and February, or January, like the end of January. And just, I mean, I had a lot of business all in one month, and
Yeah,
it just came, and it all came at once. And here's when it came. And this is why I love and hate the real estate business. It came when the Fed made the announcement back in December of last year that they were going to lower the rates 5 times this year, which never actually happened.
never happened.
But because people heard that and they saw it on CNN,
Yep.
they came out of the woodwork. It's just like what happened last month whenever the chair came out and made that announcement. Listen, the mortgage rates have been down for 2 months prior to in anticipation of that. And we'd
Mm-hmm.
all of us real estate agents that knew what we were doing were telling all of our buyers, listen, you need to move now. The rates are down. And then
That's right.
what happened? The CNN made the announcement. Oh, really? The rates are down all of a sudden? Like, no, they've been
Nope.
down for two
Yeah.
months. And
Right.
so that's one of the things I would just say is just like continue to do the activities that I'm teaching folks to do, because these are activities that are economy proof. The economy does not decide me getting up in the morning, making a bunch of phone calls, writing a bunch of notes, and reaching out to people. The economy has nothing to do with my activity. And I'm getting business. I mean, I've got several listings right now. I've got several buyers I'm working with right now when other agents don't, because supposedly the economy is not great and listings are, I got people buying homes right now. Um,
Yeah.
so I will say this, I'd rather be a buyer's agent right now than a listing agent. Um,
Yeah. You
as
and
a
me
listing
both.
agent, we're sitting a little bit longer right now because people
Yep.
are. So I'd rather be the guy with the fish, looking for the bait.
Hmm.
I can get paid a little bit quicker if I know I've got a buyer that I can help find a home in the next week or so.
The
So
most important thing I think you said of this whole webinar is if you do the activities, when something happens in the marketplace, you're front and center. You're top of mind. Like
that's right.
it's not do it when the market changes, do it now. So when the market changes,
That's
they're
right.
calling you, they're texting you, they're email like, "Hey Scott, hey Art, hey Art, hey Art, hey Art,"
Yep.
instead of like, "Oh, man, I should be doing something now." No, you've been doing it the whole time, even though it's not yielding reward. It will
Yes.
eventually by staying top of. I think that was the big thing. I think when you go back and look at January, you had 5 closings. I'll bet you it
Yeah.
was the activities you did the whole previous year
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely. It was
yielded those
staying
activities.
visible, staying in front of people,
Yes.
giving them. Listen, I think we are dealers in hope. I think
Yeah.
that's what we are as real estate agents. We are dealers in hope. And the amount, again, to the extent that you're a positive light in the marketplace versus a negative Debbie Downer,
Yeah.
you're gonna find business or not get business in direct proportion to your attitude and the way you are and the way you present yourself out there with people. And so
Love it.
I'm not an unrealistic. Here's the thing I hate, and this is the only thing about that I hate. When I meet real estate agents who do 30 years or whatever, and you ask them how things are, and they're like, fantastic every single time. Like that
Yeah.
fake, inauthentic thing,
Yeah.
like doesn't really gel well with me. I get it, and I understand. I want to be as upbeat. Like if I'm not doing well in business, if the real estate industry is doing great, but I'm not doing great, then I'll just say it that way. I mean, like, you know what,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people buying and selling homes right now. My business personally is a little bit slow right now. Don't know why, just the way it is.
Yeah.
Or if my
Yeah.
business is great, I'd be like, business is really doing well. I've got several clients I'm working right now. We wouldn't have, this would be a different conversation if we were 4 months ago, Scott. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't in the same place I am right now. I didn't have a whole lot of business. I didn't even know I was going to be Uber driving next month. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes we need to have conversations like that. It's not
Absolutely.
always, yeah, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. So I
No, I
think
mean,
it's good to,
and listen, I mean, I don't like, I'm not one of these guys that goes around and just is like, I made $100 million this year in GCI or whatever. I don't announce that. I've sold probably, I mean, just to be completely transparent with you, I've probably sold close to 14 or 15 homes so far this year, which has been great. It's been a good year. I mean, it's not bad. It's good money.
yeah, it's a great year.
And as
Yeah.
bad as and hard as in pushing the rock uphill it has been, that's been a decent year, even though it's been tough. I've got 4 kids, so in my mind, that's never enough, right? I got four
Yeah,
kids, and I got a
right.
mortgage, I got other things I got
Right.
to pay for. My
Right.
daughter goes to Christian
Right.
school. So like there's things in my mind I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's not enough. But like if I really look at it, I go, this has been a good year. And in some people's, this has been a great year for some other folks who didn't have as many expenses as I did. Um,
Right.
but
Right
again,
on.
like I say all that to just say, like, I'm like you. I'm just another guy out here just trying to, take care of my family, take care of the people that have been entrusted to me, build the community, grow my business, grow my understanding of how to do this thing, learn as much as I can about how to do it better next year than what I did this year. That's all that I'm about. So
Awesome stuff, man. You're amazing, bro. Love you. Thank you for being
appreciate you, man.
here. Guys, check it out.
Cool
I
guy.
did post a link, but Seven Spheres of a Friend Maker on Amazon. Amazing, amazing book. If you're looking to just make friends, friends turn into relationships, relationships turn into closings. Unbelievable. I would go check it out, order it online. And Art, thank you again. Appreciate you, brother. Anything I can do for you, let me know.
Hey, thank you,
And
man.
yeah, you bet. Guys, same time, same place right here. Get into the 545 21-day challenge with Art Kelly. Look forward to seeing you there. And I will see you same time, same place right here next week on 10X, which is a division of Fresh Agent Marketing. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
See you, buddy.